All right, hey, it's Sasha Evdokov, and today is February 27th, 2014, and we're going over some charts today for the market recap. So I want to do this market recap, and I have a lot to cover here. Now, I apologize for this last week. If you got the newsletter list and you weren't able to click the links, the mail server had some issues. It's not a company that I own or anything like that. It's just the email newsletter provider that we use. And, you can always check the most recent videos on YouTube and also on the website itself. So with that being said, some of the news that I had was that I started a Twitter account. I actually started posting it more frequently. I had a Twitter account, I just didn't post much often because I felt that if you just tweet and do things and you don't really show the visuals or the charts, then you don't get much out of it. And now I found a little piece of software that allows me to post extremely fast to the account, so I'm able to do it. So what I want to do with this market recap is actually show you the things that I posted, because I'm not able to edit any of the posts or anything. They're up. It's just my thoughts, things I'm watching, things I'm looking at. These aren't recommendations or anything like that. They're not anything for you to buy or sell, but it's some ideas and thought-provoking things that maybe things to look at for the upside, maybe things to learn from, maybe some tips, and they're more real-time rather than me sending you email newsletter lists all the time. This might be a little bit better if you're an actual live trader, or if you're looking to trade. Now, I can't promise I'll answer all the questions if you follow me on Twitter, but I'm going to try this out for the next couple weeks, maybe here and there, and see the response that I get. So if you guys like it, then, we'll see, depending on the interactions that we get and the feedback that I get. But in either case, I'm going to do the market recap based from Twitter today. And we'll go back and forth on the chart to see how things set up over the next few days. So here we'll start with February 24th because that was, I believe that was a Monday. So it kind of gives you a nice headway to see how the things develop. So I talked about eBay here. It was consolidating, was pushing higher. So here you can see the chart, and let me set up the Twitter a little bit better so that way you can see it. So here's our chart in full screen, and you can see that it was consolidating here, and we're looking at the weekly, of course, because it's a long chart. And this chart right here will compare it to what we see here. So now we have eBay on the weekly. You can see that it's pushing and propping higher, and now it's actually hitting 52-week highs. So I talked about this one right around here, that $57 mark. Here was the consolidation pattern, and it's breaking higher even more so today. So again, looking at it here, you can see it's at 56.42, and then we made the move, and now it's at 58.36. So this stock continued higher, and it was one to watch because it consolidated for so long, and you'll have to see the next day for follow through and see what happens there. But it's a good little setup. So taking a look at the next one, I talked about SWKS. It had a nice breakout here at this level, this price level. Again, the weekly chart right here that I'm looking at, and it went to 34.38. So let's take a look at that one. SWKS, Skyworks Solutions. So you can see here on the weekly now it's at 34.96. So here we are on the trend line, popping higher, 34.96. Doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. The volume was there, the breakout was there, the consolidation was a nice long pattern, and there was our move. Okay, so I won't go through all these Twitter things, because some of them I'm just watching setups like this GILD, watching certain lines that you can learn from. So you can see here, and again, GILD, watching that setup line again. Still here, it's in consolidation, it didn't break out. So I'll run through some of those quicker if I come across them. But here, talked about Solar City earnings this week. Watch the lines, don't play earnings. So just a tip, a reminder. So here was the setup on the daily. Okay, so we're looking at it 77.58, and SCTY is pushing higher. Okay, 77.58. I talked about this one here. Popped higher, continued to follow through for 3 days straight. So you would have had a 7-point run or so on that one. Okay, so moving to the next one, Win. Okay, moving well on that day. So we had it here at the 236.01. So 236.01 level. I was noticing the resistance line. Okay, so right here, 236.01. And now it's at 241.95. Okay, so couple point run. So from here, 236 to 241, 4-point run. Not too bad right here, you can see. And moving to another stock, let's just go to Netflix here. Talked about this one clearing the resistance on the daily. It has a very nice stair-step pattern on Netflix. And when we look at it currently, you can see that the Netflix continued higher here on the next day, did a pullback to retest these levels, and continued higher today as well. So over the last 2-3 days after I sent that tweet, you know, it's been pushing higher. So now it's at 452.01, and I tweeted this one at 446. So I would use that line as your support, or just $1 right under it or something like that, like 50 cents. Then looking at the next one, you know, I talked about Verizon. It's setting up, you know, for things, just watching certain things, giving you some quotes here. So I'm not going to talk about Verizon since that one's still consolidating. UNG was pulling back. Let's see, is that the UNG? No, I accidentally posted the wind chart here. ACT, here we go. ACT acting well. And it was moving here at 223.02. After this break, it was just continuing to power higher. ACT at 223. Looking at it here on this chart, it's at 227. So talked about it right here. Did a little pullback. You want to see lighter volume when the stock's pulling back, heavier volume as it goes higher. Now, these stocks that I'm talking about here and you know, discussing, you want to make sure you get in at the appropriate times. When I'm talking about a breakout, or when you're seeing a breakout, then you want to get in it quickly. You know, you don't want to see me talk about a stock like ACT that's up already, you know, 10 points from when I tweeted about it. You know, you don't want to jump in late to the party. You want to get in it as early as you can, and this is why I want you to learn to do this on your own, to spot these nice lines, to spot these trend lines, and watch what powers higher. Now, the market, you know, has a tendency to look at the energy and go where the flow is, and you know, you're gonna have a lot of losing trades. You will. Just minimize the losers. I have losing trades. I had losing trades today. It happens. You're not going to get all of them. The important part is just keep them short, keep them tight. But then when these setups come, you pounce on them higher and just let them run. Okay, you can see that, you know, I didn't tweet a ton on a lot of stocks. You know, I talk about a few. Here's the Solar City one again that we talked about. SCTY 79.39, and again, as I talked about, SCTY, there it is. You know, I continued to reinforce this one for a few days, just in case you were following me. You know, talked about it here, you know, and then this stock as well, NLNK. These are the setups that you want to watch. I don't have a position in this. I'm just giving you ideas and thoughts of something that you can use to learn to take your trading edge and your game higher or to that next level. Okay, so that's kind of my goal behind this trades, these accounts, and so on and so forth. So Baidu here, you know, I said watch these levels. If it can't get past this, then it's gonna probably go down and go lower. But if it can, then you can, use this line to pop it higher. And in fact, this is what happened. So you got to use your brain a little bit, that this is the level I was watching, was this level right here, and the same thing here. I'm not going to tell you exactly when to enter it. I'm showing you the level, and you have to do your due diligence. You could have either played it to the short side and shorted it at the highs here for it to go lower, or you could do it on the break at this level. These are just different ideas and concepts for you to play with depending on your strategy. Okay, so here I talked about this one. You know, is trying to break out, is looking, and it did break out. You know, there's one concern for me, there was a lot of down volume on this nice big tick here. So it did break it. You can see this line here, but there was just that concern with that line. And you can see that it probably followed through, because stocks, they can continue to follow through even though there's a break. So what does this mean? This bar is like air now. That means that this stock will probably come and test this level. It can go at other levels at 50% of that in between here, but chances are that it will go now here to this level to test, because now this is like air. It's coming into this bar. Okay, now this bar, like I said, is a concern, which means when it gets here, it could roll over. But right now, it broke past this little consolidation pattern right here, and now it's moving higher. That's the line that I mentioned to watch right here, and it continued higher. 137.26, and then now it's at 139. 2-point run, $2 run. Had 1,000 shares, $2,000. Okay, so in either case, let's continue higher to the few next stocks. GMCR. I said this one needs some time to consolidate. Watching these two lines, the highs here and the lows here. If it takes this out, it can go lower. So looking at GMCR, okay, what'd I say? Right here, this line right here, lower. Okay, I would watch also this level here. So these are just simple levels. It's not complicated. The hard part about this business is your own psychology and your mentality. It's those emotions that get in the way, because you're going to beat yourself up over it. You know, it's about money management, risk and money management. Talked about this one. Here's a little training thought for you. A, B, C, D pattern. A to B, B to C, C to D. If you watched my course, the A to B will equal C to D. If you watch the green course, Stock Trading Foundation Fundamentals course, look at it. There's the setup. Don't make it more complicated than it has to be, like all these other people that have, you know, Bollinger Bands and all these crazy MACDs and, you know, crazy things happening. Don't make it more complicated. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. You know, don't make it hard. Okay, so talked about others like GILD, the gold. We talked about Starbucks, Zebra. You know, look at some of these things. You know, watching these trend lines, they break on volume, they continue higher. It's a stock picker's market, and that's what this year might be. Who knows? Looking at these stocks, if you request a stock, I'll give you my honest truth and opinion. You might not like it. Somebody requested this stock, and you know, here's the trend line that I saw, breaking lower, heavy volume. You know, I wouldn't play these stocks. GCVRZ, let's take a look. GCVRZ. Okay, weekly right here. You know, here it is. Boom, continued lower. And then here's the red bar for the week still, the little tick. So again, you can request a stock, just tweet it to me. Can't write too much or an essay about it, obviously, since, you know, Twitter limits you. But, you know, I'll do my best. I might try and show you a chart if I can, and then you have to do your own homework and, you know, kind of understand what's happening. So, for example, if I tell you something, then you're going to have to digest it thinking, okay, what's being said? What does it mean? And what does it mean to me? Because your trading might be different than my trading. I'm just trying to give you theories and concepts. Now, Apple was an interesting one. It did a reversal. So here was the gap I was watching, and I actually did short this one for a profit for just a day or two. here. It was going short, so at 517 here. And this one today, though, just went up like crazy. So, you know, right around here at this 517 level, I shorted it, and it continued lower, and I got out of my position today, in fact, and took a little profit the previous day, and then today I netted even because the stock ran up so high, 10 points. So, and it happens, that happens, you know, it came into this line right here, and it bounced. It's what you expect. But if it would have taken it lower, if it would have broke this, could go to the 490. The risk versus the reward. So my possible gain from this was 515 to 493. So from here to here, the spread is about 20 points. But what was I risking? $1 or $2? 20 points? You know, I could have made 20 points or my risk for $2. Is that worth it? Yeah, it was worth the risk and reward. Okay, so you're not going to win all of them. Google, this one continued to power higher. I've been talking about this one for some time. 1225, and Google talked about it, pulled back a little today. You know, but this one's been having a straight solid run since right around this level at the 1134. Okay, so use these things as a learning tool. Talked about Yelp here, February 26th. Talked about it the other day. So mentioned this break right here, popping higher, and you know, it's been continuing doing pretty well. And then right here, 97.40 right now. So you can see that for the last few days, it's been going higher. And, you know, that one's a slow mover in terms of volume. ANF, talked about this one as well. I said that, you know, if it could get past 40, it could take up a few bucks up to about this 50 level. But it's got to clear this level. There's a lot of hype about this stock that it popped, and yes, it did pop, but it didn't get past this level. It's got to prove to me the volume wasn't amazing at that time. So if we look at it, you know, right here was the level I was watching. Okay, so you can see it popped a little over 40. This is confluence. If you watch my course, that's confluence. Okay, and then if we look at the daily, here's the long chart of the daily. It doesn't even fit. It's pulling back today. So can it go higher? Yeah, it can. There's some decent volume here. We'll see what happens, but it's under 40. It's under that level. So you have to be careful, make sure it cuts through that on nice heavy volume. So we'll see over the next few days how that one trades. And that's what I'm watching. That's what I'm looking for. Meoh, or MEOH, I don't even know how to say it. Talked about this one on the weekly, the breakout right here. MEOH. Okay, here it is on the weekly, here it is on the daily. 2 days of nice solid gains. That's what you want to see. Second day follow through, first day break, second day follow through. That's a winner. If you're in it, congratulations. If you were following me on Twitter, there's win again. It retweeted about that. Talked about pizza and Domino's pizza. It's funny, I actually ordered some Domino's pizza last week. So here, this one popping higher, PZZA on Papa John's, and I mentioned DPZ, but I didn't post that chart. So look at DPZ, you can see, boom, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day. Talked about that one, and PZZA. Okay, this one went up 1 day. Now we have a little doji indecision, unsure of where it'll go. So that's why you want to always see second day follow through, whereas with DPZ you get to see that 1 2 3 4, boom. That's what you want to see exactly. Okay, so you know, the majority of the trades, that's kind of what's happening. That's what I've been doing. You know, a lot of these are very similar and the same because I've been watching the same stocks. I don't watch hundreds of them. I'm not an analyst. I won't analyze a ton of them, you know, for you, because I just don't have the time. And what's catching my attention, that's the ones I post. So let's take a look at LVS here, because this goes along with the Wynn resorts as well. LVS popping higher here. You can see this is another pattern that it's good to know that when it breaks that, it pops higher, it retests it, and then it moves higher. If it retests it and it bounces, that means it's healthy. So again, another healthy pattern rather than a second day follow through. It can retest it and pounce higher. So again, use this as a tool if you like. Like I said, I just started posting on it for, just this week, really. I mean, I posted it here and there a little bit. So, I don't have a ton of tweets. I'm not going to be following a bunch of people. So if you want to follow me, follow me. If you don't, fine, that's okay. I'm not here for popularity. I'm here if you want to learn, if you want to take your trading game to that next level. If you want to learn something, then this might be a great tool if you're actually watching stocks. If you're looking for basic videos, then I'll still continue to aim to do some general videos on YouTube frequently here and there as much as I can, or as much time as allows. This week I have lined up over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to try to do a couple of option videos, some basic ones, and then maybe in the future we'll get into more intense ones. Now if you have my options course, then you probably know most of the option things that I already talked about in these little videos that will be posted later, but that's kind of the plan at the moment. So check out this Twitter tool if you want, and see if you like it. If you don't, hey, you don't have to follow me. I'm not pushing anyone. I'm not asking you to. If you want it, it's there. If you don't want it, you don't have to do it. You don't have to follow me. And, if there's not a lot of people, and if there's not a lot of people that are interested in it, then, I'm not going to continue doing it, obviously, because then it's not worth my time to post the charts, because they still take a bit of time. I still have to look at the chart, do the setup, do the tweet, post it, and so on and so forth. So in either case, there you have it for the recap. In terms of what's going on with the market, we're still at this level, and you got to be really cautious at this level, and see what goes on. If it follows through, just like any stock, it can continue higher. It's a picker's market a little bit. The market's going up somewhat on light volume. If you look at it here, it's light volume right here, light volume, that's air. And if it continues going on air, and we had this extension, the more it continues to go on air, the larger the pullback it can be, because you can have 1 or 2 days worth of gains wiped out, or you can have a week's or a month's worth of gains wiped out in just a couple of days, because when these stocks break, they break hard. So you take a look at this, how long it takes to get, from here to here. So here, this line takes quite a bit of time, 2009 to 2010. But here we wiped out those gains in just a couple months. Okay, so be careful, when trading, and especially with the market the way it is. It's on low volume, and that's not what you usually like to see. And then as the summer approaches, typically we'll have light volume in the summer as well, which is even going to hurt it maybe even more. Now, it can still go up. It can go up on air for a while, but that just means you're more cautious. And when the pullback comes, it's going to come even harder. The rug will get ripped out from under you even faster. Taking a look at Amazon, is watching these price points and price levels. Look at what they do. They pump that stock higher. I talked about this consolidation pattern right here, and watching the highs here, pulled back here on the second day or 2 days ago. So here went higher, and then they pulled it back down. It hit that high point and went right back down, and now it's kind of isolating here. So we'll see. This stock, it can play around in this level for a while between these two major areas of 340 and 365-ish. So anyways, that's the trading recap. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want, check out the Twitter thing and see if you like that. If you like it, great, let me know. If you don't, well, you don't have to follow me. Just enjoy the day, make it a good one, and live your life and have fun with it. All right, thanks again. I'll talk to you later.